3. This is the third part of the 6th session. And as the sun is beginning to rise, Cadenwell miraculously finds that he does in fact have special magical incense and special magical herbs and very mundane, boring charcoal. But as the sun rises, he begins a ritual to resummon his owl. The owl reappears before you, the tawny creature, and it looks very, very shocked. Its eyes are wide, and it looks at you. What do you do?
Well, what is your explanation for this failure?
Do you slap it? Do you do like a backhand slap?
And it says to you, Master, why were you unhappy with me so? Why? Why?
Because you died. Your instructions were to surveil. What did you do wrong?
And it goes, I reached the farmstead and I saw it from above. And as I swooped around to survey the farmlands that were around it, my wings turned to ash and I fell into the ground and exploded.
Ash.
Is this psychic between these two, or are we hearing this in common?
Telepathic communication, but I believe Cadenmore can just be saying his words. But the owl communicates telepathically.
So we're just watching this guy scream at an owl.
I believe it's
Shut
the
up!
raven that speaks, right?
It can't speak. No, it's
Cool.
telepathic.
Cool.
This bodes ill.
Do
These-
share, Cadenmore.
My owl was destroyed in the air. This means that our enemy has some means of projecting force at great distance. Melchizedek, at approximately what height were you when you were felled? And be precise now. I am displeased.
And it goes, I was at least 5,000 talons away from the ground.
We've agreed on the system of measurement we should use before. How many times have I told you?
It goes.
It was empirical.
I was at
Specifically
least
empirical.
I don't know how high are clouds. Like
Very rarely below 1,000 feet.
so, yeah,
Depends on the
1,000
cloud.
feet.
Yeah.
It goes. I was soaring with the clouds at least 1,000 feet from any ground.
This bodes extremely ill.
Well then.
And it says,
Maybe there's a
"Master,
creature
Master, why are
dwelling
you
in the
displeased
clouds
with me
rather
so?
that's
You
unrelated.
told me not to touch the ground and to stay hidden among the clouds. I did as you asked, Master. Master, why do you punish me so? This failing is not my fault. Master,
My
Master.
God. Oh no.
If you think this is punishment, I will teach you a lesson in pain shortly. Now, stop your whining.
Wait. Question. DM, how does it actually sound to us when the owl is
Literally just the
conveying these
entire
emotions?
conversation without my voice. So just Cadenmore.
Oh,
He's
so the
talking
owl
to an
just
owl
is
that has
stoic
magically appeared
face. It's not flapping its
wide
wings.
owly eyes in the bright morning sun.
Okay.
Is it not even hooting?
It hops from one foot to another, and it looks a bit bird-like, but it doesn't make any noise. No. And you've literally just seen this thing like spawn into existence from Cadenmore's magic.
Do not fear my companions, I say, turning to them, seeing their looks of surprise and consternation. This is not an owl. It merely wears its shape. It seems that our enemy is more powerful than we had thought. But let us proceed for the moment.
Right you are then.
Well, neither
Hey.
the little boy nor the farmer got shot with projectiles.
Indeed.
So perhaps it only reacted to the magical owl.
Possibly.
Maybe.
Or perhaps since you say it was so high in the clouds, perhaps the creature dwelling there took offense to it, rather than anything to do with the tree.
Possibly. Possibly. Too many variables. Let us go forward. But before we do, I have another ritual to enact. I summon 2 unseen servants using a ritual.
I don't believe you can have 2 unseen servants.
Yeah, you actually can. They're
Cast 2 and just one would be 10 minutes behind the other, so it would.
That's right. Unless the
DM.
GM rules not. And there goes another one.
I'm just gonna real quick. Yeah, it's an hour.
So one would last
There's
50 minutes
ritual.
and the other would last an hour.
Yeah, 50 minutes and an hour.
Yeah, no.
You could have the unseen servant help you do the next ritual.
So you could technically have 6.
Yep,
Yeah,
that's
you-
entirely fine.
You could have 5, but whatever.
Math isn't my strong suit.
I'm casting Mage Armor right now as well.
Okay. Okay. So you summon into existence a menagerie of magical beings, none of which the party can see, and then gild yourself in visible magic armor, or just like an invisible wall of force.
I glow briefly for a second, and then the magic fades.
Cool.
I hand my unseen servants a torch and several flasks of oil. Attend me. And by then,
Aren't we still like a couple of hours out from the farmstead?
yes, but we do not know the extent of these creatures' domain.
So do you light the torch, or do you give the unseen servant some means of lighting it?
No, I'll light them with a firebolt when the time comes.
So you just see a couple flasks of oil hover in the air next to a torch after Caden Moore's like spent a good 20 minutes just muttering to himself.
Just a note, if whatever attacked your magical owl, it will probably be provoked again by your magical unseen servants.
Possibly, but then it will be aiming at our magical unseen servants and not us. And I, for one, like the sound of that.
Oi, the wizard's he's speaking truth there. Anyway, I'll start leading on. We can see the town, or rather the farm, so it's not too difficult to get there.
Cool. So if you just want to move yourself down and roll a d100, that's all hunky-dory.
Okey-dokey.
Yay.
Not a problem. You're absolutely fine.
Nice.
So you walk along, as you do, through the mighty farmland, and before long you arrive at the border of what is essentially a small kind of like wooden fence, not like a picket fence, but just like posts with lengths of wood roped around them. Doesn't seem to be containing any animals or something like that. You can see a number of buildings which seem to encompass this farmstead. There is one large, almost cottage-like building with smoke still rising from the chimney, stone walls, like windows, a thick door, a porch area, a well out in the front of it, and the other buildings all seem to be like barns and that kind of thing. From here, you can see two large field areas, one to the north and one to the southeast. You can clearly see a great oak in the northern field, which is about 2 hours from your current location. The field to the southeast seems unmolested. So, are you going to walk up to the main farmstead, or are you going to just walk to the north?
From over here, does the oak look just like a normal oak?
It looks like a big and impressive tree.
How far away did you say we were from the oak?
2 hours. It's like the next hex. The north hex contains the field with the tree.
Oh, okay.
So you see the green hexes were like hashed lines are like farmland essentially,
Right, yeah.
and this hex
This
you're
is
in now
yeah.
is like also farmland, but where the farmstead is, which is, like I said, this cottage and a couple of
Yeah.
barns.
I
Those
don't
barns
know.
are just wooden affairs, thatched roofs.
Maybe we should go in, but maybe we should just go and burn down the tree, right?
Well, maybe
I
we
think
should first
our-
talk
Let
to
us
the
gather.
farmer.
Yes, let us
Yeah,
gather information.
Our first task should be to see the farmer, and then I think perhaps we should try and stay overnight. It's been here for a month, so it's probably not going to do anything, but we could observe it and see if anything changes during the evening.
Sounds like a terrible plan,
Uh,
sneaking with an evil tree. But
Well, if there's
we're not
anyone
gonna
alive in the farmstead,
Well,
yeah,
my
we'll
plan is
see
to
what happens
sleep
when we
next
get
to the
there.
tree.
Actually, if they're all dead, I'm not
It's
staying the
just-
night.
Yeah, it was just sleep at the farmstead, and just watch the tree out the window or whatever.
if they are dead, why have they lit the fire? I say, looking at the smoke coming out the chimney that I believe that we were told about earlier on. Is that right?
Perhaps they
Indeed,
have died
smoke coming from the
recently.
chimney.
That would be entirely too convenient.
You arrive there and there is a bloody mess and a lit
Let's go to the
fire.
farm then.
Okay, so you walk up to the farm, and Stephen Cadenmore, I'm fine with you just doing the ritual to summon the unseen servant
We have
when
to
you
stop
actually want
ourselves.
them, rather
Wait,
than
wait,
you
missed it.
travel for 2 hours to get to the next hex, resummon them, blah. Like, you have them. That's good. So you walk up to the farmstead, and you are all immediately struck dead by a powerful magical force, which turns your insides into giblets. So you walk up to the main farmstead, and you see a man come out. He's wearing a brown jerkin, leather pants. He hasn't got his boots on. He's barefoot, and he's got like very sunken eyes, very pallid skin. His hair's greying and falling out in places. He has very mundane brown eyes, and as you walk up to the farmstead, he calls out loudly, "Who is it? Who comes calling on my farm?"
Just some fine fellas. We're coming to deal with your tree problem.
Which one of you is the priest?
Oh dear. He's expecting a priest.
I
No,
think-
none of us are priests. We're just some men with some stuff that can get it sorted.
The little
priest.
fellow
I-
has expertise in holy matters.
Say that again.
The little
You're a
one
paladin,
has
you're a holy
expertise.
man.
Don't tell them that. They'll think I can do things. I'm
Oh,
not
thank
actually a very
God!
good
And he
paladin.
falls to his knees. He goes, "Praise be the Lord! Praise the tree! It must be exercised. Foul demons live in it. I'm sure of it now." And he
Right.
crawls towards you on his knees.
Right you are then. Cool. It's just you around
Cool.
here.
I am the only one left. Bill is dead.
Before we do anything, good sir, perhaps you could invite us inside and tell us
Of course.
in
of
detail
course. And
all
he stands up and he's
all
like,
the things.
and as he stands up for the first time, Robin, he notices that when he stands back up, that you're like a good half the size of him, and he's like a bit put off by the fact that you're a halfling. And he maybe for a moment there's a bit of doubt in his mind, but you can tell from his voice. It's that sort of, "Oh God, you're the savior. You are the one that's going to save me." And he seems to be willing to believe that you're a priest if you've been told he is. So he invites you into his home, into his farm, and you immediately see a state of disarray. You can see like bowls piled up on the table that haven't been washed, and the remains of at least a dozen uneaten meals. Like he's made himself something and then hasn't eaten it, and it's been left to rot. And as you come in, he like begins moving bowls off the table, and he offers you some water, puts the seats down. But he seems to be like going through the motions, but you can tell his mind's on other matters. What do you do?
Right. So, yeah, we're here to deal with it. Like I said, you need to give us a bit more information about what exactly has happened. Since we've only read the letters, and anything you can tell us could help.
And he goes, "Please tell me you're going to get rid of it."
Oh no, that's totally why we're here. Yes.
Oh, good. I thought I put everything in the letters. Okay, let's start from the beginning. It came on the start of the new year, the 1st of January. As I awoke, it was there in the field to the north. I thought nothing of it. I went to the field and I was like, "Well, there's an oak." And I said to my boy, I said, "Bill, cut this oak down." I was tired, I must admit. I had not thought how strange it was that the tree had suddenly appeared. But when Bill, my poor boy, when he went to cut it down, he lifted up his axe high above his head. I saw the new sun glinting off it, but he never struck the tree. He instead dropped his axe and ran from the field. And my boy, he was always a simple soul, bless him, may he rest in peace. A simple soul, but something of the way he spoke, it put the fear of God in me, and I could not bring myself to set foot in that field. And since then, the field itself has become eerie. The plants, they're twisted. The vines sprout everywhere. The border of the field it has become thorny and overgrown. And when at last someone came to answer my call for aid, a stout woodsman with an axe, he heard me, and he thought me mad that I would believe my boy. Mad, and he went out to that field, and he raised his axe high above his head, and before he could bring it down upon the tree, he began to claw at his face and cry to the heavens for forgiveness. He dropped the axe, and as he knelt there, I was watching from afar, but suddenly my boy was in the field as well, and he grabbed that man, grabbed him by the throat and lifted him. He was always such a strong lad, but he lifted him high above his head and crushed his throat. I could hear the cries from here. I did not know what to do. What do I say to my bewitched boy? So I did nothing. I wish now that I had gone into that field and that I had mustered the courage, but I could not. And when I awoke, he was swinging from the tree. My boy, he had killed himself. Such a good soul. He could not live with what he had done, so he took his own life. But even that was not the end. Now at night I see him wandering in the field, moved by some unnatural force. I tell you, the devil himself has put that tree upon my land. And if it is not gone, I fear for my life. I have lived here. I've lived here for 2 decades now. I've tamed this land, but if I stay here any longer, I'm sure that I will be the tree's next victim. Can you help me? Please say you can help me.
Oh, that we can. Have you actually gone up to this tree yourself? How close have you gotten?
When the tree first appeared, I was close enough to smell its leaves. But after I sent Bill to cut it down, I could not enter that field. I could not bring myself to.
And your son, after he attempted to strike the tree, am I correct in thinking he did not leave the field again?
No, he came back to the farmstead.
And was he
ran
normal?
from that field.
Was he normal? What was his explanation for this strange behavior?
He said he couldn't. He shouldn't. That it was wrong. he gave me no explanation but babblings, and my son has always been a simple soul. He was not the most apt at school. He never did learn his letters, but his heart is in the right place. I
Did
could
he
tell,
perhaps-
not from the words that he said, but the way that he said them. His eyes were frantic. There was a cold sweat upon him. True terror had grasped him. And in truth it has grasped me too.
Did he perhaps speak in backwards Latin?
Latin?
I don't actually ask that.
He therefore then does not respond in a English tone.
Right. Well, you've been very helpful. Mr. Wizard.
I will ask some questions if you don't.
No,
mind.
sure. Go ahead. Ask the fella.
Yeah, this may seem unrelated, but it's best we investigate all possibilities. Your boy. Where is his mother? Your wife, perhaps?
My wife, Isabel, she passed 2 summers back. I've been caring for the boy myself since then.
You didn't bury her in that field, did you?
No. I took her to Haven. In truth, back then, it was no more than a collection of wooden buildings. Xiaodi had not yet taken up residence, but it is buried by where the church now rests, on sanctified ground.
And tell me, have you recently extended any of your domains out into woodland, or have you noticed any strange events around your farm in the months leading up to this?
He thinks, and you can see him furrowing his brow, and he says, "No, the northern field has always ended where the forest begins. And strange happenings? Before the tree was there was nothing strange. My milk had not curdled. The stars were where they should be.
You say the tree appeared on New Year's Day.
Yes.
So, what were you doing on New Year's Eve?
Drinking with my boy.
Who's the religious? Who amongst the party has knowledge religion? In our world, close to the turning of the solstice is a pagan festival. Perhaps it is also so in this world. What do you know of this, either of you who have knowledge of religion? Could this be some festival?
What do we know of this?
Give me a religion roll.
Yeah. 18.
You know that the turning of the year is always marked as a time of change. Various religions have ceremonies around this, usually eating and drinking in excess and celebrating the coming year. You don't know of any reason why a tree would spring up on the day of New Year's Day, and you can't think of a link to any religious kind of ceremony or pagan ritual.
Okay.
Although there are certain druidic rituals that might be considered pagan by some faiths that take
I
place
wouldn't know
on
anything
New
about that,
Year's
would I?
Day, but you can't see a reason why one of them would simply summon a tree.
Okay, I asked the farmer, before this tree appeared, have perhaps people from Haven been having any activity around this land?
I don't know. I don't speak to folk from Haven much.
Have you seen
Relatively
any activity around? Maybe there were lumberjacks, perhaps, or anything like that.
Oh, I guess when they were cutting down trees for Haven itself, they had to get the wood from somewhere. But lumberjacks down my way, not before the tree, no. I mean, I cut down wood myself, or get Bill to do it. Or got Bill to do it. And he looks down at his shoes.
Are there any tales, perhaps, old woman telling tales of weird happenings happening in the woods or wilderness around here? Strange
There are
sightings.
always tales. For the
Do share, if
for the
anything.
ancient woods are always strange. They are filled with devilish tricksters that will tie your shoelaces and cause you to trip, and sour your milk, and cause your loins to ache with longing for home.
Well,
So-
I wouldn't want to hear all of them, but if you can think of something related to this oak.
In truth, I cannot. There are tales of demon trees. I'm sure there must be, for this is what it is. It is no tall tale. It is a tree possessed of the devil itself.
Right.
Tell me, when you have, when you seek cures for diseases, or when you need protection from the evil spirits of the wood, whom do you go to in this region? You have no church nearby, I assume. Is there a wise woman or other person?
And he goes, well, Isabel, my departed wife, she always used to make me soothing lotions for any scrapes I had, but now I guess there's a Templar in Haven, is there not?
Did your wife commit any of her acts to writing? Do you have her effects? And might we look through them?
No, I saw no reason to keep her effects. All I have is the memories. And he looks down at his feet and he goes, that's all I have of anyone now. Please,
Did
can
your
you
wife
help me?
did your wife have a special place that she went to enact
To enact what?
rituals?
Are you saying my wife was a witch? And he
I am-
looks shocked and offended.
I am asking.
My wife was not a witch. She simply made bandages. For my there was no witchcraft here. No potions. No magic.
Well, the way you said it sounded like she was perhaps
She
making
really did what any
potions.
good wife would. A
Very
poultice
well.
is no magical thing crafted by the devil's magic.
Fear not, Master Giles. We mean no insult. It's just best to investigate every possible
And
outcome.
he points
or
angrily
possibility.
out the northern window and he goes, that is what you should be investigating. There are 4 of you, good strong men. Go and fell that tree. It has been a curse on my land too long.
As he says "man," I kind of cringe a little.
He doesn't notice this, Rhea.
Yeah.
Because that worked out so well the last 2 times.
And he looks down at his feet and goes,
Now, Master Charles,
"But
I
act as a
know
priest
you've
among
had a
you,
terrible
exorcise the demon. Force it back to where it came from."
Master Giles, please. You've had a terrible time, we know, and we will do our best to rid you of this evil. Now, what I would propose is that we wait until nightfall. We'll observe the tree from afar and see if your wandering son has arrived, and if he has, we will try and put him to rest for you before we move on to dealing with the tree.
And he nods and goes, very well, very well. And he goes, I'll get some blankets to put on the floor for you. Or do you prefer hay? I have hay.
I think blankets will be fine.
So
Eva's agreeable.
Are there any further questions for Giles?
Not really. It's proved singularly unuseful.
Okay, so could you please roll 3d100? Gabriel. And I'm assuming you're just kind of like sitting by the window, looking out into the fields, watching the tree.
I have my owl on the roof, and it has dark vision.
It's middle of the day, so yeah. But I'm assuming at night that would be helpful, yes.
Right. I've told Roll20 to roll. It's given me a result. I don't know if anything's happened because it's given me the red warning about connection to server.
Okay, in which case, oh no, there they
it's
are.
there.
Yeah, so the day passes without incident, and before long the night has risen, and the stars begin to twinkle and shine. Rhea, could you please make a perception test?
Okay.
Could my
No
owl also
advantage?
make one?
Just Rhea, because Rhea's the scout.
Okay.
Although, yeah, I mean, your owl is watching, so
Hey,
yeah,
we could
make
game
one.
this and
Make
they could
one
do
for
the
the
help
owl.
action. And give him
No,
advantage.
make one for the owl,
Can my rat make a perception check?
because
No.
this isn't like travel, so it's like, yeah, you can all be watching. Yeah, make a perception for your owl.
What the hell? Oh, I've just typed it in the wrong bloody thing.
Rhea, you're a half elf. Do they gain dark vision?
Yeah, they do.
Cool. So your owl doesn't report anything strange. However, Rhea, as the moon shines down on the field, you do in fact see the wandering figure of Bill. A shambling creature emerges from a bracken of vines and twigs, and what looked previously like a bush just kind of begins to roam the field, and you see it disappear from line of sight every now and again, but it's definitely the figure of a man just moving slowly, methodically. Every now and again it steps into like some area of dense growth, like another bush, and disappears from sight, and you see it re-emerge somewhere else on the field without spotting it move between the two locations.
Okay. Okay. Is everyone else sleeping?
It's up to them. They can have been watching or sleeping.
I'll just be twiddling.
Well,
my
if it was possible, if I could like sneak off into like Bill's old room while the farmer wasn't looking, investigate, see if there's anything suspicious.
Cool. Give me a stealth check.
Ooh.
In the meantime,
Let's
is anyone
see.
sleeping? Caden Moore, Robin, are you asleep?
It's still morning, right?
No, it's the day's passed. You've been
Oh,
watching.
sorry.
The night's risen, and the shambling figure of Bill the Dead is now seen.
Guess we'll take it in turns to sleep, so we don't.
It's like we will have to kill Bill.
Oh. So Gabriel has an easy time sneaking into Farmer Giles's room. You wait until he goes to the well to get some water, and you enter into his room. You see it in a state of disarray. Dirty clothes are piled up, and you can see like paper on a desk, and there's just like tons of like crumpled up pieces of paper like thrown into the corner. His bed's messy. There's like a straw pillow that's been tear stained. His wardrobe doors are flung open, and all the clothes are like just kind of piled up at the bottom. You can see a bucket by the bed, which does not smell as you think of urine, but instead of vomit.
Mm.
Oh, that's not very nice. I will have a look at the papers and see if there's anything written on them.
So, looking through the scrunched up papers, you find yourself reading drafts of the letter he sent to town, to Truman. And you can see, like, there's angry scribbles and crossings out where he's made a mistake. And sometimes the information contained within them is slightly different, but there's nothing extra to be learned there that you haven't learned from talking to him. He recounts the tale of his son like holding up this woodsman and snapping his neck, and it seems like when he writes that bit, he tears up, tear stains smudge the paper, or he scratches through it, and you get the impression like he was trying his best to word the letter as though his son's not some foul monster. But
Mhm.
you do find in one of the letters, in one of the letters that would be a first draft, he goes a bit more into detail about his son is simple, and you get the definite impression that he's trying to say his son is retarded, but without saying it.
He's a special boy.
Yes, you find like the word "sin no num num num" on one of the pieces of paper.
I don't think that's a word, but okay.
It's totally synonym nom nom. Is there
Okay.
anything else you would like to search the room for?
I
don't
I point up into the room, and Gabriel hears a voice in his head. Look for hidden places, Master Valeri. I am watching the
Okay,
gentleman while he comes to the well.
Stephen, with I'm assuming you're using the spell message for this. You can't see Ria if he's in another room. If she's in another room,
You
No,
don't
not
need to be.
Ria.
You don't need to be able to see them according to the spell. But again,
Okay,
as long as you know them, as long as you know them, and
fair
Uh,
enough.
there's not 3 feet of wood in between them and you.
There's
it's not me
definitely
snooping
a
around, by the
wardrobe.
way. It's Gabriel.
Yeah, it's Gabriel anyway.
Damn, I'm just failing at everything. But yeah, okay.
Well, you know, you've got every. We can pull out whatever spell we like on you, and you can't know them all. It's impossible.
Oh well. At least I'll have the tiny little haha. It's a spoken component. So when you use this spell to telepathically communicate with someone, you also make an audible noise.
Of course.
That's the only victory I can have. Anyway, sorry, Gabriel.
Enjoy it.
Gabriel, you hear this in your head. Sorry.
I'll just say this is a strange spell. I think I know it, but please don't overuse it. And then I'll have a look around for secret hidden places.
You find none. As thoroughly or
Okay.
as not thoroughly as you find, there is no hidden place in a farmer's room.
Have I got time to go across and find Bill's room?
Yeah.
I'll go and have a look in there.
Okay. So in Bill's room, you see a simple like wooden pallet, like a wooden bed, like a small simple one, and you can see. Give me an investigation check.
Okie dokie. Now we'll just wait for the lag. Oh no.
You see nothing.
That's a
in the
1.
room.
That is not fair. Oh well.
Like there's a simple bed with some blankets on it. There's shoes and clothing and not a lot. There's not like a chest of drawers or a wardrobe. It's quite small, very nondescript, more like a little cubby hole.
No
than a real
magical bows.
You do,
swords?
however, find a plus 10 Vorpal longsword of not existing.
Yes. Perfect.
The moment you pick it up, you cease
Oh.
to exist. Do you pick it up?
Probably not.
Okay.
But I guess I'll just go back downstairs and give him. I'll keep the first draft that said something different about the boy, and I'll say this is all the extra information I could find.
All right.
And
Well,
show it to Caden Moore.
Did you search the boy's room?
I had a look. It was small, pretty much just a straw pallet.
Understood.
I guess that happened before. So when I see the shambling figure in the fields, I throw like a spoon at the nodding off party members, and I say, "Looks like little Billy's taking a nightly stroll." And I usher them towards the window.
Cool.
Maybe.
As you look out beyond the window, those of you who have dark vision see the figure of Bill like shambling around every now and again, disappearing into some underbrush and disappearing from view, reappearing
full
somewhere
moon?
else.
Or
No, I can't remember what the moon is. At some point, I said it was a half moon, and I don't remember how long ago that was.
it should have some light. If it's a field, they should be able to see it.
It's a moon. Yeah. Those of you without dark vision, now and again you see some movement, but that's about it. You can see where you're being pointed to, where this figure is, but you don't see it like disappearing into underbrush.
I definitely know it's Bill, right?
You can't see his face. Like, you can see a figure. You're a good distance from the field.
Question is, should we investigate it? Or should we wait till the day?
Well, if we wait, he'll probably disappear again. I've seen him disappear into the ground and then appear in another place, seemingly as if he was moving through the ground.
Well, I'm okay with going out and investigating it, if you guys want to.
I'll pick up my equipment and say, sounds like we should go out and try and find out what we can from poor Bill.
In the dark?
Well, you've got the little fellas that can take the torches for us, right?
Yes.
You can make
I
them big torches themselves.
I enact a ritual to bring up 3 unseen servants, load them up with lit torches this time, and I'll also cast Detect Magic as a ritual. So we've only got 20 minutes. Hurry.
So as you walk towards the field, you've got an hour and 40 minutes left. Your detect magic disappears. Do you cast it again? I'm assuming you cast all this as you're at the edge of where you believe there might be danger. Okay, cool. Can you roll 1d100, please? Gabriel, I believe, isn't it? Who's navigating? And move yourself into the northern field.
Master Valeri.
Oh my god. No, wait, Gabriel.
That
Valeri.
was,
yeah, I am right. Whew. Phew.
I wasn't navigating though. That was Robin.
Robin.
Oh my. Oh.
You'll get there. You'll get there. Don't worry.
I'm sorry. It's the Deadpool. It's taking it out of me. I need some more coffee. Next break, I'm going to make myself a coffee.
As Rhea walks into the field, she kind of looks up at the moon, clutches her symbol of saloon, and kind of closes her eyes and says a silent prayer.
Okay. Rhea, could you please make a perception test?
Yes.
I'm
Advantage?
sweeping the area with Detect Magic, Blage, so if there's anything within 60 feet, I should be able to tell if it's magic.
Cool.
What is the check for? So I can
Um,
figure out maybe I could get advantage.
It's for keeping track of Bill.
Well, since I've seen him before, shouldn't I kept focusing on him. Shouldn't I maybe have advantage for that?
Just normal.
Okay, fine. Well, I don't care.
Fine, I rolled 21!
I
Again.
don't care. I don't need advantage.
So you see Bill disappearing and reappearing, and as you actually get to the edge of the field and peer in, you can see he's a goodly distance from the edge, at least 240 feet from the edge of the field, and he's just kind of ambling about. You can see that he's walking towards where there's a bunch of like long grain stalks sprouting out, and they've like grouped together at the tops, they almost look teepee-ish in shape. And all in and around them, there are spiky vines growing, and he's ambling towards that. As you reach the edge of the field, you can see like thorns and vines like twisting around the like simple fence that surrounds this field. Inside the
Do not.
field, there are. I know what you're going to ask, Aiden Moore. Get chill. You see furrows of plowed ground, which wheat is growing up in, and it's all like twisted and gnarled. You can see roots like pushing their way through the ground and stretching a great distance away from the oak, which sits firmly in the center of the tree. Cadenmore, as you near the edge of this field and you cast your magical detection over the vines that are sprouting in front of you, they appear completely unnatural to the eye, but it's perfectly mundane to your magical senses. They look twisted and gnarled and violent. They look like the perfect candidates for your knowledge of what a blight is, but your magical detection shows that they have no ambulatory power among them.
I
Why don't you use your
firebolt one.
10-foot pole to poke them?
I just firebolt one. Let's see
Fireball!
how ambulatory they are.
Okay. Roll a d20.
Okay. Hold on. I can do this properly, can't I? Or is this just a normal 1d20 roll?
Just 1d20.
Ten.
So you fire a bolt of fire into one of these twisted branches, and you see a glaring illumination as it begins to burn brightly with your power. And in this glaring illumination, you see the shambling figure of Bill quicken, and it moves from sight, diving into, or more being swallowed by, the vines.
I notch my bow.
How far is the tree?
The tree's in the center of the field, so 600 feet. I don't know how big a field is.
Apparently it's on 600 feet.
Football field.
So, I think we need to get a bit closer to this tree, right, Mr. Wizard? I mean, you're talking about 60 foot to be precise.
I leave it to the magic users. This seems very unnatural.
It is unnatural. It is, but that does not mean that I will not need your aid.
Oh, we will help you.
Oh no, I got you back. Don't worry about that.
The decision is up to you, is what I mean.
Let me think a moment. Much here is wrong.
Oh. Where did you say Bill was going? He was going towards the big tree.
He was going towards a group of twisted vines that had sprouted and gnarled around some wheat, and he had moved into it, and like the vines had accepted him, like grasped hold of him, pulled him within. He had disappeared from sight.
Did we see the little hay teepee before when we arrived?
Yeah,
here?
you saw that he was moving towards it before he moved into
No,
it.
no, no. Like when we arrived at the farmhouse during day.
No.
Okay.
You hadn't seen like individual structures of vine from the distance. You'd like seen the border, which is all like twisted vine over this fence, and you had seen the tree itself because it's quite prominent. But you hadn't seen like what was in the field and that sort of thing. Not to the detail of, oh, do you see a little vine TV? Sorry, no. The answer's no.
Is where Bill
Babbling.
disappeared into those vines pretty close or far away?
It was about 240 feet away from you, so it's about halfway between you and the tree.
I focus on
think
the.
we should-
I focus. Sorry.
I think
do you
we should we should investigate these vines that seem to allow him to move around the fields with ease.
Not too closely, perhaps.
No. What's our longest range?
120 feet,
I guess so.
and my servants I can only direct them from 60 feet. So this is quite
Yeah.
a hazardous situation. We need to clear a path first. I focus on the ground with detect magic, and I'll get one of my servants, to dig down a little way Is there anything necromantic, or have I got any flows of magic? Because I mean, there's ridiculous amounts of magic being used in this field. Where is it coming from? Is the
As your servants dig down into the ground and you use your power to detect magic, you do not feel any necromantic magic. And as you cast your aura of detection around the vines that border the field, you feel no great surge of magic. Give me a what would it be? I think this would just be automatic. Okay, so as you're like kind of standing there and sensing the magical forces, you feel. I think it's detect magic's an Arcana check, isn't it?
No, it's an automatic thing, isn't it? You just detect it.
Yeah, you detect the magic, but to understand what the magic is, it would be an Arcana. Make me an Arcana check with advantage, and I'll check the spell real quick.
Arcana is basically magic history.
One thing I was going to say while he's doing that, I just remembered that there's divine sense can also detect consecrated or desecrated ground. So I'll activate divine sense, and I'll ask the question: within 60 feet, is there any celestial fiend undead, or is the ground consecrated or desecrated?
Cool. Okay. Detect magic allows you to automatically know auras on creatures or objects that bear magic and its school of magic. But I'd like a Arcana check anyway. For the additionals. Okay.
Wow.
So
20 and a
and
1. Nice.
it was Robin you're using detect, yes?
No, I was using divine sense, which is
Divine
a
sense,
paladin
yeah.
feature.
So I think around the same time then, Caden Moore, you sense a aura of magic suddenly appear within the bush. Not the bush, the like twisted vines that you are standing by, and it's a conjuration aura. Meanwhile, Robin, you suddenly, as you begin sensing, there's nothing. You have this sense of unease, and then an undead suddenly registers upon your radar. Caden Moore, you know that the location 60 feet away from you is being targeted by some type of magic. Some force other than the creature which is being moved is displacing the zombie of Bill, the ambulatory Bill, and he is about to suddenly, miraculously appear 60 feet from your group. Both you and Robin know this fact.
As
Okay.
I
One
realise
round
this,
Call out-
before it happens.
I call
throw my
out-
sword.
Question,
call out a
before,
warning.
You call out a warning.
Before
What
they
do
were
you
doing all this, could I declare an action?
Yeah.
Because I was going to do it. You tell me if I can do it in time. I wanted to wrap some of my arrows in with a little piece of cloth and dip it in oil.
Cool.
Can I do that in time?
I'm
Yep.
definitely
Like 3 arrows, let's say.
I'm happy for you to have done that back at the farmstead.
Okay.
Cool.
Sure.
As a point, this makeshift wrapping will make them a little less accurate, so it'll probably give you disadvantage or something like that.
Fair enough. Okay.
But you'll automatically inflict 1 point of fire damage with every arrow, the same as if you had hit them with a torch.
And hopefully, if they're covered in oil, I will light them up.
Oh yeah, if they're covered in oil, it will ignite the oil. Or will it snuff it out? I'm referring
No.
to a previous session where someone ignited oil and they just kind of like splashed oil on something and it extinguished it. So you're all like made aware of this impending demise, and then the vines surrounding the field suddenly like birth a creature, and falling out of it onto its face and slowly standing, you see this horrifying, just like undead creature. Its skin is like sunken and rotten into it. You can see its cheekbones and its teeth. It stands easily 6'4" tall and has what in life must have been bulging muscles.
I should
And
have.
it ambles towards you. You immediately like pounce upon it and destroy it, and it cries little whimpers. So if you could all just doop, 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 doop.
After the warning
like
was
a,
called out that it was going to appear, could I cast the spell light on one of my crossbow bolts and load my crossbow?
Yep, I'm fine with you having done that, but you are all going to get a surprise round on it.
Oh, okay.
You
Good.
do realise we've got 3 unseen servants carrying torches as well, Gabriel.
Yeah, but it's just if it
Oh, but
goes
in
in
the-
the
in
if
the-
it goes in
yeah.
the vines and then teleports over the other side of the field and it's got a lit crossbow bolt stuck in it, we'll see exactly where it is.
That's
Smart.
true.
Just
Not
as a
bad.
point with
That's-
unseen servants, they specifically cannot attack. And attempting to light someone who is doused in oil is an attack. Okay, so if you could all just... you should see your tokens. Just click them and roll initiative.
Mhm. Oh.
Wow.
Oh,
Ha! I'm a halfling. I'm going to re-roll that.
Damn halflings.
no,
No,
roll
my
20's not rating.
Come on, where's the there it is. Oh, come on.
Oh dear, it looks like Steven's crashed again and roll 20 is not responding to me.
And party wipe.
That's okay. I'm sure you'll all suffer a fate as bad as death. Bill, however, is just as slow as Robin.
Is Bill the Undead on the map, though? Or...
No.
Okay. But he was 60 foot away, you said, yeah?
I'll put him on the map if you don't kill him in the first town of combat.
Okay.
Not that I'm saying that you could. I mean, you totally can't. He's invulnerable to all damage. Sorry, that's just what I wrote for him when I made him. But
No, yeah.
if by
yeah,
some
it's a-
outstanding mote of luck you just happen to have a leaf of the Elder Tree, which makes creatures immune to damage, not immune to damage for 1 turn.
Oh, it's actually in my backstory. I have 10 of those. I gathered them on my travels.
That's good
Yeah.
because they're one-use items and everything.
Cool, cool.
You should sell them for like all the GP.
Well, I sold already 20 of them before. I had 30, so
Ah,
I already
so you
have
must be loaded.
5,000 gold in my pockets. That's fine.
Well, before we get into the fight, do we take another break? 'Cause it's 9 o'clock now and Steven crashed.
Yeah,
and
sure.
Yeah, it's a good idea, actually.
So, everyone, we're going to take a break.